Con Guy Show. We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things con. Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. Tonight, we are going to have a lot of fun because we're talking about a really cool party. It's a Los Angeles party. Right now, we're in the middle of what we call our San Diego Comic-Con update episodes. We got as we head into the San Diego Comic-Con event happening July 25th through the 28th down in San Diego. Preview night on 24th. But what's cool? I'll tell you what's cool about our guest tonight. We've been talking about the events. We'll talk about the events, the offsites, the panels. The panels are being released. How to get parking. But one of the biggest parties of the year, one of the biggest Comic-Con parties of the year to get everybody jazzed for Comic-Con is the Infolist Pre-Comic-Con Party in Los Angeles. We are so privileged tonight to be speaking with Mr. Jeff Gund. He's the principal guy. He's the runner. He manages Infolist, which is an awesome networking resource for the industry here in Los Angeles. And Jeff, thank you so much for joining us tonight on The Con Guy.
Yeah, my pleasure to be here. My pleasure. It's a crazy time of year, but we've got some good things going on.
Like I know it's good. You probably have your time kind of is very precious right now because I've come. We in the Con Guys, we have come. Let me see. We've come probably since 2016 to your. I remember back in 2016 because you had the producers of the Sharknado movies back then, which was so kind of cool. Yeah, I remember the Sharknado films.
Yeah, actually, they still come to a lot of them. So.
Oh, I love it. That's what's the name of the production company? Because they got a big panel down at Comic-Con this year. Because you know how what is it? I forgot their names, but you know how Cocaine Bear came out last year.
Right.
Well, they've got a movie called Meth Gator. Meth Gator, of course. Anyways, Jeff, welcome to the show. Before we jump into the party, though, could you tell us about Infolist? Tell everybody who doesn't know about Infolist what it is, where it came from, and how you came up with this crazy idea. It's not so crazy, yeah.
Yeah, the best thing about Infolist actually was not an idea. I had no intention of creating anything. Literally, so Infolist, what it is a platform where we post jobs and opportunities for filmmakers, writers, casting stuff, a lot of shows and commercials cast through us. As well as industry events, from seminars and workshops to way back when I started producing my own events. They started off as kind of smaller, just kind of networking gatherings with just a whole bunch of regular people coming and meeting other people and making great relationships. And we started getting bigger and bigger and bigger special guests. And now we got, a room full of some of the biggest names in the industry. So it's really unique. I mean, it's different than like pretty much any other networking events I see in LA, and any kind of things you can do even at like Comic-Con. I mean, Comic-Con is great. Obviously, you go there and you can meet some of the big names in the industry, but typically it's like after a panel, there's a line, you get to talk to them for 5 seconds. Here's my card. Okay, thanks, bye. And of course, not hear from them again because you're one of 100 people they met in 30 seconds, Yeah. But what's unique about my events is we've got a room full of like dozens and dozens of big A-list people in a relaxed, fun atmosphere where you get to actually just hang and talk and chat and have a drink, whatever with them. And if you make a great connection, that can go somewhere, Yeah. And if you don't connect with this person, that's okay. That's what networking is. It's not about, hi, what can you do for me? It's about making real connections with real people. And the right person, you make that connection, that's what's going to lead to something. And sometimes it's the big names, but we also have like a lot of working professionals who you don't know their names, but you know all the shows and movies they work on. And frankly, that's actually really some of the best networking.
I would say that's more important. I mean, it's kind of cool to meet the bigwigs, it's cool being in their presence, and it's so great. But the working people in the industry, that's why I'm always so impressed when I see with Infolist, because you connect, you have writing jobs that are out there, writing, acting, all these different industry jobs. You seem really plugged into all of them, industry events, industry this, industry that, and you're always inviting people who have such and such skills, that match whatever you're talking about to come in. And then you have the networking events. I mean, because you also have the Oscars the Oscars event, like you kind of do like for Comic-Con here. You have the Emmys, and you have different things where you gather people in the industry of Hollywood around, which I really appreciate. We're a podcast of filmmakers. We're all filmmakers here. So we try to go at Comic-Con from a filmmaker's perspective.
Yeah. Well, then my events are also great. Yeah. We do about 5 or 6 a year. There's a pre-Oscars event where we bring in Oscar-winning writers and producers of big blockbuster films. Pre-Emmys event, it's all TV industry people. A pre-Cannes event, it's also all industry people. We do a holiday event. It's still all industry people, but it's a little more. We do like a toy drive, and it's just a little more cheery holiday atmosphere, which is fun.
And for the record, since we're talking about a great party, I brought a drink along with me. Usually this is called the Con Guy Happy Hour. Don't worry, you don't got to go grab a drink. But if you have one.
I was going to say, I came prepared. I've got, water.
You're a busy man. All right, well, let's jump right into the event. If you can, give us the lowdown, give us the digits, the specifics. I'm going to go through some pictures here of what is happening and when it's happening and where it's happening.
Oh, that's a fun picture.
That's a great one.
So it's going to be Wednesday, July 17th. It's at a place called Academy LA in Hollywood. It's kind of a fun venue. There's like a big outdoor patio area. There's also
wait, we got to stop. Where's your famous hat, Jeff? Where's the famous hat?
That's my Pikachu hat.
Yes.
You can always find me at my Comic-Con event because I'm wearing the Pikachu hat. So want to make it easy, but I still have to be mobile and get around, All
right. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were talking, it's at Academy LA.
Yeah, Academy LA, which is in Hollywood. And so, there's a big outdoor patio area. There's also kind of an indoor area with full screens everywhere that, put cool graphics and stuff all over the place. And, you can do the dancing down there. You can do more of the talking, networking upstairs. That's the patio area we're looking at.
We're going to show a video of some of what happened last year in just a second. This is the guy from Borat.
Exactly. Ken Davidian.
Yep. And then this is the Con Guys. We were there last year enjoying it.
I know those guys.
Yeah, we'll see us again this year. Oh, I just loved your pictures up here. Here's Naomi Grossman. She's a friend of the show. We always like to see Naomi. But so I guess so. Before we get too far ahead, and I just want to make sure the most important thing is we tell people if they're interested in attending, where do they get tickets?
So if you go to infolist.com, there's like a semi-long link I could give you the name of, but it's much easier. Just go to infolist.com and you'll see it'll be right towards the top. It'll say Pre-Comic-Con Bash. Click on that, and there'll be a ticket link, and there's Infolist members can get discounts and stuff. So there'll be information if you want to become an Infolist member to get those kind of discounts. But either way, we'd love to have you there.
Right.
And so, just infolist.com, Pre-Comic-Con Bash, and you're ready to go.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the bash, but I'm going to share a little bit here. This is kind of what give people an idea. Those of you who are just listening to the show, this is what Jeff was talking about. That it's just such a great party, Jeff. Tons of photographers there. There's Jeff Gunn himself introducing this video. There's the famous Pikachu hat. But Jeff, if you can, the idea for the party, it was born out of your idea to connect people in Hollywood and being a resource for people in Hollywood, from what I understand, right? Now, when was your first party? I mean, your first.
The long story short was, so I used to go to like Sundance Film Festival like every year for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And, I would go to Sundance, and at Sundance, not so much now, but like back then, every single day was like an amazing party, and then another after party and an after party after the after party. So you'd be at parties till 5 o'clock in the morning, you sleep for a couple hours, and you start going to screenings and more parties and more parties. So it's like 10 days straight of like amazing parties where you're meeting people and networking and making new friends. So then after like 10 days of that, I would come home and be like, where's the next party? And like, oh, there isn't one. And so actually one of my first events, I actually did a Sundance reunion party, basically just to get together with all the great people I met at Sundance. And that was kind of a big hit. I did those for a couple years, and then I wanted to do, and then I kind of started doing other parties throughout the year too. I think I did an Emmys party, and I think I did a Grammys party. The bad thing about award season is they're all at the same time, and I don't have time to do an event for each one of them.
Yeah.
And then Oscars happen to be also like right around the same time as Sundance.
That's springtime. That's a killer. Late in the year to early the next year. That's the killer time of all the parties and everything.
Yeah, but luckily the Oscars actually was a big success, and so I kind of transitioned from doing the post Sundance to a pre-Oscars, and that's been getting bigger and bigger. Then after doing the Oscars and the Emmys for a few years, I'd been going to a Comic-Con for a number of years by this point. Someone said, "Hey, you need to do a Comic-Con event." I'm like,
yes,
that actually makes a whole lot of sense. And so, like, normally at my events before that, we'd have, maybe 4 or 5 kind of A-list special guests who were pretty big names by this point. And then I did the Comic-Con event, and a friend of mine was working at Stan Lee's POW Entertainment then.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I'd love to be a special guest," and da-da-da-da. And so then I got to say, like, Stan Lee's company was there, and then probably partially because of that and just because a bunch of other things were going on, all of a sudden, like, I was getting tons of requests. "Hey, can I be a special? Hey, can I be a special guest?" So instead of like 4 or 5 special guests, this was like 100 special guests at my pre-Comic-Con event. So it was like a huge success. And yeah, we had everything from, Shane Black was there, if I recall. Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
And like a number of writers, and actually the Sharknado people were there too. The producer of Sharknado and the screenwriter of Sharknado were there. Or actually, sorry, the director.
Yep. I remember that. You got some, but your lineup this year is pretty stellar. I mean, you have the folks, Kamikaze Entertainment, who put on LA Comic-Con, the CEO, vice president, like LA Comic-Con. We have our own Comic-Con here in Los Angeles. So I like that you call this the pre-Comic-Con party. Maybe it's the pre-Comic-Con for LA as well as San Diego, Shane Black, he's the writer director of Iron Man 3, Predator, Last Action Hero, Lethal Weapon, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a movie I just love. The Nice Guys.
That's actually one of my favorite movies of him. I mean, I love the big blockbuster stuff, but Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is still one of his best films, I think.
It's one of the best written films that's, I think, it's just so clever. Larry Kasanoff, he's a producer, True Lies, Mortal Kombat. I'm just going through some, and the animated Lego Star Wars, one of the best movies in or animated things come out in such a long time. Robert Meyer Burnett, Agent Cody Banks, 1 and 2, The Hills Run Red, and let me just do a few more.
Sure,
Stephen L. Sears, producer, writer, author, Xena, Warrior Princess, Sheena, Swamp Thing, Superboy, and the A-Team. Luke Lieberman, he's a producer of Red Sonja, co-creator of Stan Lee's Alliances. Clint Wallace, production designer, supervising art director for so many films, but some you might know, like Top Gun Maverick, Black Widow, and Suicide Squad. And then there's, by the way, these are just like the giant names at the top. There's hundreds of names on this guest list who are showing up. So especially if you're like new to town and you are heading down to Comic-Con, or if you're just heading to Comic-Con and you just want to get the spirit of Comic-Con going early, or it's not that early, it's only like a couple days away after that, come to this party. I can tell you, my group, the con guys, we come every year because it's just it starts Comic-Con off right. And we just have to drive, down the street. We don't got to drive 2.5. Oh, Pat Jankowicz is one of the most amazing people. He's so funny. He's so funny.
Yeah, and we've
got, if you get in a conversation with Mr. Jankowicz, you better give yourself a couple hours because you're not getting out of that one.
Yeah, Pat is great. And we've got a bunch of cosplayers there too. We've been seeing on the screen some of the great cosplay. Like we saw the Thor guy came up. He's awesome. There's an Iron Man guy who comes with like the full mechanized suit with the mask that goes up and down, and just amazing cosplay. So
I love the Santa Claus Jedi.
Yes, Jedi Santa, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So you mentioned cosplay. So we're seeing a lot of photos and video here of cosplay. Oh, Chris Gore, he's one of the funniest guys out there. So do you fully embrace, not only embrace but encourage as much cosplay as you are willing to go in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Cosplay is totally welcome and very much encouraged.
Awesome, awesome.
So,
I do have to ask you, food and drinks. What kind of food, what kind of drinks we talking about?
so the drinks, of course, there's a full bar. It's not a
Yeah.
hosted bar. You do have to buy your drinks, but
Wah, wah, wah.
last year we actually had a bunch of like food trucks and food stations. Everyone was having so much fun and meeting so many people. No one was actually worried about like the food.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I felt bad for the food trucks. They're like, "Yeah, we've been here all night. We made all this food, and like everyone's just standing around talking," which is great for the event, but not so good for the food vendors. So I figured
Right.
this year we're going to try it without them and give it a see, because frankly, you can eat a burrito anytime. You don't get to meet all these people anytime. So I love to keep the focus, on that. So
That's cool. That's cool. And the drinks weren't super expensive. It's, a night out in Hollywood. The drinks were actually pretty cheap for Hollywood, if you want to know the truth. But here's a question I got for you. Is there anything new this year that we didn't have? Is there anything surprising this year that we might not be expecting?
Um, Well, actually, there's a potential sponsor I'm waiting to hear back from, but I can't say yet because they're not
No
on board
worries.
yet. But yeah, I mean, we do have just a lot of new names. We've got actually over the last year or so, we've started adding not just film and TV people, but now I've got a lot of influencers.
Yeah.
So they're not on like film and TV shows, but they've got 20 million followers on, TikTok or whatever.
Well, and let me name a couple of them because most people watching here, they'll probably know some of these names, like the world's tallest fashion model. It's Ekaterina Lasina. She's 6'9". You also have singer model influencer Katja Gleason. She has 9.5 million followers. Andrew Neems, he's a content creator with 4.3 million followers. Preston Bradley, influencer with 3.6 million. Chase Del Rosario, actor and content creator, 2.2 million, and the list goes on and on. Shaka Strong, also appearing on Modern Family and Disney's Pair of Kings, fitness guru, actor, attorney, and host. So and by the way, that's just a sampling of what's listed as the guest for the night.
Yeah, and I'll put it this way. I mean, like the influencers, content creators we have there. I mean, the ones I list, like the requirement is 200K or above, and I think I haven't counted, but I'm guessing there's probably 15 or something, like of those listed. But the ones who are, I mean, still content creators have 100K followers and 50K. They're still somewhat relevant. We probably have, I don't know, a couple hundred of those. I don't know. There's a lot. So yeah, like I said, there's something for everyone. We've got content creators, we've got writers, we've got actors, we've got special effects people, sound effects people, composers, musicians. So truly, truly something for everyone.
I hear you. Let me ask you this. Wait a second. I have too many screens open right now. We tell us about. You've got to have some favorite moments from years past. Some favorite moments, something that just sticks out to you of maybe something funny that happened, something surprising, something interesting. What are some of your favorite moments from the pre-Comic-Con party specifically? Of course, all the parties you have, they might all blend together.
I mean, it is kind of a big wash. There's like literally the whole party is like my favorite moment because it's just I'm either meeting someone that I'm enjoying meeting. I'm watching other people meet. I literally hear stories about people like, oh, I met this person. Now I'm in their film. I met them. Now we're working together. That happens like all the time at my events because it's a room full of nothing but, creators who are most working at a significant level. So there was one kind of unique thing. So this was, a few years back, one of my events. And someone was like, hey, Jeff, I just want to introduce you to my friend. And the friend was this guy, Scott Page, who happens to be the saxophone player for Pink Floyd. But he didn't know, like, actually, we used to work together. There was a video game company called Seventh Level. and I was kind of their head sound designer for a while. I used to make my living actually in music and sound design, for those who didn't know that. And so I was their head of sound design. He was like a top exec at the company. And so, yeah, we were old friends from way back then. And I hadn't seen him for, I'm guessing, like 20 years or something. And so the guy introduces us. He's like, Jeff? And I'm like, Scott? Oh my God. And so it was one of those kind of moments. But
last year at your event, my friend Christina Lee, she's gonna kill me. I shouldn't have given her last. Whatever. So I hadn't seen her for 10 years. Well, oh, there's Jake, the con guy. Yeah, that was awesome. So it was about Christina Lee. She left and moved to New York City, pursuing her life as an author and content creator. And I hadn't seen her, gosh, not 10 years, maybe like closer to like 8 years, 7 or 8 years. We were like the best of friends when she was here, but hadn't seen her, didn't even know what happened to her. I'm walking into your party and there she is. I'm like, are you kidding me, Chris? So, I mean, if nothing else, it helped me to meet a long lost friend that I hadn't had. There's Trevin. There's Luke. He's another con guy right there to the left. So like, yeah, we enjoy the party here, and it feels like Comic-Con, but it feels like, oh, there I am in my monster shirt.
Small world.
Fantastic. So we enjoyed the party. I love this part right here. For everyone else, for everyone looking for tickets, go get your tickets. Infolist.com will have the information. The good news is that they're offering 10% off tickets for a limited time. The code to get that 10% off is so cool. One of my favorite movies of last year was Godzilla -1. But to use if you want the 10% off, you got to use the discount code Godzilla -10. I love that. Spell out 10 though. That's very clever. That's very clever.
Yeah, my discount codes are always some. I try and make funny or interesting play on words for some big movie or something at the time. So, and that one just seemed obvious. That one jumped right out at me. Oh, Godzilla -1, Godzilla -10.
Yeah, well, I love it. I love it. And just real quick before we go, we'll go over like how to get tickets and everything. But you are a person. You came to. What brought you to? Are you from California? Are you from Hollywood, or what brought you to Hollywood?
Oh, I grew up in Vegas, of all crazy places.
Wow.
For me, Vegas, like, it's okay to visit for a day or two, but I definitely wouldn't want to live there again. all respect to Vegas people.
That's you inside the venue right there. You were talking about it earlier. Just want folks to know that that's a cool venue that they have inside there.
Video screens and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, what brought you here?
So I came out to LA for college, and went to USC and got my degree, and realized, oh, there is life outside of Vegas, and it's better. And LA's been home ever since. So
leaving Vegas. Awesome. Well, my friend, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. Let's go over one more time how folks can get to. Let me ask you, are there any VIP or bottle service tickets still left?
You can get, actually, if you go to the posting page, there is directions for how to get bottle service.
Okay.
So you actually don't get that on the ticket page. You just call the venue directly.
Okay.
And
it's limited, so you got to call quickly if you want to get the bottle service. And bottle service will move you to just like any other cool club. It's going to move you to the front of the line, guys, if you want to get in, because I can tell you there will be a line out onto the block that night. So
yeah, we do have a line. So and the VIP tickets get you in quicker as well. And also, if you're interested in getting on the red carpet, the paid VIP tickets get you also. You go right behind our like celebrity guests and the big name guests, but then you're in the front of the line ahead of everyone else. So
all right. Well, Jeff, this has been enjoyable tonight hearing about it, but I can't wait to see you. Are you going to be wearing the Pikachu hat?
Pikachu hat has become my standard. So
it's how we find you. Infolist.com. If you don't have your tickets yet, if you are in the LA area or close enough, go check out your tickets, guys. You'll be happy you did. It just brings the joy of Comic-Con with an extra dose of Hollywood networking and celebrity there. So you're going to love it. Jeff, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. But thank you everybody for watching us here. We have we're in the countdown. We're down to San Diego Comic-Con. We're almost there. So Jeff, thank you for kicking it off for us. We really do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure and an honor. So thanks for having me. All
right. We'll see you next week, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching The Con Guy, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts.